And we back, episode 20, 100 Simple Life Truths. You back right here with me, your host, the guy. Opening monologue. Do I have an opening monologue? I don't know. Lately, I haven't been having an opening monologue. I got a lot on my mind, but I don't really know how to articulate it. So, I kind of do have an opening monologue. First off, I want to say I appreciate y'all. Episode 20, I had set out to make 100 episodes with the last 100. And when I started, I believe we had 166 days left in a year or something like that. And then when the last time I checked, I think we might have like 142 days left in a year. I gotta double check. But I'm on par. I'm on pace. And I'm gonna succeed with my goal. So that's a blessing. Other than that, I think I wanted to do something different for this episode, but I've been having a crazy weekend. It's Monday. It's 5/13, August 12th, 2024. I've been having a crazy weekend. So I'm not gonna do what I had set out to do for this episode, for the 20th episode, but I might do it for the 30th. And if all goes well, I might drop episode 30 by next week, Monday. Don't hold me to it. I do have everything scheduled out, planned out, but sometimes I'm human. Well, I'm human all the time, but sometimes I just don't be feeling like it, to be honest with y'all. And knowing that I have such a crazy cushion in terms of days that I could miss, I be missing days. I gotta stay more consistent, get on a more consistent schedule, but it's hard because I got life outside of this. So still gotta function. Other than that, I want y'all to know, like, yo, it's getting crazy out here. It's getting crazy. We got, I'm not gonna talk, I don't really want to talk political on here, but we got elections coming up and all of this stuff. So only thing I'm gonna say is make sure y'all doing y'all research. Make sure what you know what I mean, whoever you vote for makes sense for you. Don't worry about what everybody else thinks. You don't even gotta tell people who you're voting for. Just make sure it makes sense to you. You do your research and you feel like you're gonna benefit personally. Your personal life will benefit from whoever you picked. And take a look at their VPs as well. You know what I mean? Hopefully, y'all, whatever state y'all in, y'all paying attention to y'all local elections as well. And just like function. Well, I was about to go into a completely different topic, but yeah, just make sure a lot of people's not really on a political aspect or political side of things, but we got to be, because that affects our lives, that affects the money. And if you know me, you know I love the money. So yeah, that's all I gotta say about that. Other than that, yeah, stay functioning. Like I said in plenty of episodes before, like, make sure your future self is proud of what you're doing right now. Somebody had asked me a question recently, and it was like, can you be rich? What was the question? Basically the question was like, can you be rich? It's kind of like a work-life balance. Like, can you be rich and have balance in your life? And I would say yes and no. It's kind of a tricky topic, because if you get into a decent career, you can make good money. You won't necessarily you can get rich. Yes, you can, because it's been done before, right? So you can get rich and have a crazy like work-life balance, but to get there is going to take sacrifices. So you're not just going to become the CEO. You're not just going to become Warren Buffett or, Steve Jobs, whatever the case may be. And even they're rich, but they don't have like work-life balance, because they're always on the clock. They're the person everybody looks to. So becoming a CFO or COO, whatever the case may be, yes, you're gonna make a lot of money, and you're gonna have enough money to like invest and buy properties, whatever you want to do with it to increase that money, to increase your net worth, and probably hire a tax strategist and stuff like that. But what I want y'all to know is that you got to find a healthy work-life balance and still get to the bag as well. Me, I'm very high functioning. I'm very, very high functioning. There's been times in my life where I had 3 jobs and was in school, or you know what I mean? Like, I'm always doing something. I'm doing my photography on the side, I used to do model on the side. And of course I wasn't like making money from that, but on the same aspect, it's something that if I like really took it seriously, I could have blown up and eventually made money. So that goes to say, in the beginning of things, you might not like, especially working on your passions, and I said this before, find a passion and work on it, even though you're not making money from it. It's something that can ground you. And it's getting crazy out here. It's getting crazy. I was just watching one of these, well, not even one. I only really watch one podcast. Technically, it's like 3, but it's still just all in one. It's all the same podcast, but it's 3 separate situations. So I was watching it, and they was talking about layoffs. Like, a lot of jobs are like laying people off, and it's gonna get crazy. It's gonna get crazy. I don't want to ramble on too much. We're already at 7 minutes. I don't want to ramble on too much. I got a lot of content. I got a lot of content that I want to shoot. So stay tuned for that. I want to do. I still have the idea that I had. I'm not sure if I told y'all, so I'm not going to tell y'all right now. But I do have something else that came to mind that I wanna execute on. So I got this series that I'm working on, 100 episodes. And then in between there, I might start dropping some other content in between. But that stuff is way more time consuming editing wise. So don't quote me on it. I might batch it and then start dropping it after I drop these 100 episodes. Not too sure. And then I have another thing that I want to do as well, which I'm still mining out how to execute that. So y'all gonna see. Hopefully y'all follow me on social media and stuff like that. But let's get into it. This episode might be a little long because I'm already looking at this chapter, and it seems it's like 2 pages. So, and 2 pages, I could read it quickly, but I want to put my thoughts in it as well, as y'all know. So episode 20, 100 simple life truths. Let's see if we can learn something about ourselves today. This one is titled, you can be whatever the fuck you want. This one's definitely not for the kids already. See, I can't upload this for the children, cause we cursing. Fuck it. It is what it is. Make that money. You can be whatever the fuck you want. Remember the rule. Whenever you read something and I write and say it's easier said than done, you owe me $5. Why the fuck would it be easy? Difficult is what makes it worth it. And it's crazy. I was just talking about this. It's not going to be easy. Like finding that work-life balance and just getting the things that you want is not going to be easy, because if it was easy, you wouldn't want it because you already have it. I think that makes sense. Like if I say, oh, I want a cup of water, I'm just going to go get me a cup of water. It's that easy. But if I say, oh, I want to go get me a Lambo, I gotta get my money up for that. So the things that you want are not easy. So he goes on, in life, if you don't know who you are, there will be entities, systems, and people who will tell you who you are. Media will subliminally jam into your brain what you should look like, smell like, act like, talk like, walk like, and like in general. Even if you have a very unique concept of yourself, it's not set in stone. I like that because for me, I have a very unique concept of myself. Like the way I view myself is something that nobody could diminish, or nobody can uplift as well, if that makes sense. So like the way I see myself, I know what I'm destined for, and I know what my life is going to pan out to be. It's just going through the process now, because it's not newfound self-worth, but it's new, it's reinvigorated self-worth. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, if you don't, what does he say? If you don't know who you are, the world is going to tell you who you are, and you need to not let people dictate who you are and how you feel about yourself, what you like. This is how trends are set. People that don't really have their own identity, they just follow the trends because they don't know. And sometimes following a trend, you might actually realize that you like it, or this is who you are. So it's a gift and a curse. What it means to be a man, woman, citizen, rapper, celebrity, student, employee, etc. are all constructs of society. Nature is a minor factor, and only once mixed with your nurture does your definition begin to form. We are all a mixture of our nature and nurture. The more we discover those elements, the better we can work on our redesign. I don't know how to feel about that. It's very well worded. It's very well worded. I don't have my glasses on right now, so it's kind of like my eyes is tweaking out. So bear with me as I'm reading through this. But yeah, I don't know how to feel about that. We all nature is a minor factor mixed with our nurture. So basically saying your nature of who you are and your nurture of what's put into you will create who you are. I believe. I could be wrong. But he goes on to say, people make a horrible mistake of assuming elements of their personality and core being are somehow purely genetic or in their blood. The reality is you're not married to who you are. You can change it at any moment. The change may not be overnight, but nothing about you is concrete. It's construct. Anything that is constructed can be destroyed. I like that. I like that. I like that. I like that. So yeah, I believe that wholeheartedly. Like, we are always ever changing, always ever changing. This is why people say, like, when you get into, all right, scratch that. We're not even gonna talk about that. I agree. I'm gonna just say it flat out. I agree with this. We are always changing, and it all based on who you really are, or who you perceive yourself to be, and your environment, the things that you take in, the things that you learn. Like, as you learn new things, you adapt those into your personality, and then you change. You know what I mean? So when you have this is a common one, but when you have a broke mindset, and okay, cool, like you don't understand wealth, you don't understand money and how to like make it, how to spend it. And then once you start making more money, you grow, you get your degree, you work in a good job. Or even people that win the lotto, like they didn't have time to slowly change who they was into that money. They got it quickly, and most of them lose it quickly. But when you go to school and you work your way up, and you start at a company making maybe minimum wage, then you get a promotion, you hire, you get another promotion, you get keep getting promotions, and you start investing your money, slow money. Me, I'm a proponent of slow money. But you start making the money, you're slowly changing, and then you realize, or the people around you may realize that you've changed. But people are supposed to change. Why would you stay the same? It's not change, it's growth. And growth is change. But I don't know how to word it, how I want to say it, because it's not a negative thing. A lot of people like to say, oh, you change in a negative aspect, but it's not a negative aspect. It's growth in a positive way. So it's a tricky way to deliver the message, but I think y'all understand. So the idea that we're too old to change is ridiculous. I agree with this. Because I've lived my way. I live my way. I lived my life a certain way for a long time, and then as I grew, I realized, like, like what I was doing wasn't necessarily bad, but there's better. So now I'm in school. I'm a homeowner. I just see life a lot differently. And don't get me wrong, it's people I'm learning from people that's younger than me. So And that's perfectly fine, because life is a marathon. It's not a sprint. And as long as you cross that finish line successfully, then you good. You know what I mean? So the idea that we're too old to change is ridiculous. I feel like you can teach an old dog new tricks, and sometimes it's we all go through things, and we all on our own timeline. We all got our own path. So never think you're too old. Like, think about it. Like me, I have a delayed gratification coming to me, because once I graduate in about, I guess you could say, a year. I guess you could say, like, let's say we could say 14 months. Let's say I'm going to graduate in 14 months, right? Not even 14. Let's say 15, 16 months I'm going to graduate, right? As soon as I'm done graduating, regardless of what job, what career I get into, because I'm still trying to navigate. I know my final destination. I don't know the path on which way I want to take, because the degree that I'm getting is so many different options I can go into. And of course I want to go into the option that pays the most, but sometimes I'm thinking that I might have to start off with a lower pay, because at the end I am going to be making a higher pay when I get to my desired career. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, something that I want to do as a side quest is get my pilot's license, which most of you guys should know already. And I'm like scrolling and looking at like different ways to get your pilot's license, which I already know the process, but I'm looking at different like trips that I could take with the aircraft that I want to buy. And I'm seeing like 16, 17-year-old people flying planes like by themselves, and I'm like, bro, what the hell have I been doing with my life? Like, you can get your pilot's license at 14. Like, I didn't know that. And these people can't even drive cars, but they're taking their, well, you can't get your license. You get your license at 18, but you can technically fly a plane and take lessons at 14, which is crazy to me, because it's people that's like 19 and I just watched a video the other day. It's a 19-year-old dude, and he took his best friend and both of their girlfriends like from Florida to like Miami, like from like Florida to Dallas on a flight. And I'm like, and they just went, like, they vlogged the whole thing. It was dope to see. Like, he handled himself very well, and it's like, bro, it's crazy. So yes, the idea that you're too old to change is ridiculous. You're never too old. The truth is, the older we get, the fewer folks we have to answer to. Thus, the less we need to adapt and change. Someone who thinks they're unable to adapt and change just needs to spend some time in prison or any other circumstance where privilege and stagnation is no longer afforded. Just because you have the power to be whatever you want doesn't mean you can be whatever you want. Many of the things we want to be are still ideas fed to us. It's a tricky balance of paying attention to our insides and outsides around you. One thing's for sure, the most celebrated individuals are the ones who amplify their unique characteristics. Even cookie cutter personalities come from an original stencil. When I see folks in the creative field, some feed off trends while others create the trends that are fed off of. See, I just said that. Like, people just follow trends, and the trend has to start somewhere. So someone started the trend. Someone had the creative idea to just do something. And 9 times out of 10, they didn't know, like, once they did whatever they did, like, they didn't know it was going to become a trend, Like, let's take, for some reason, the one video that's coming up in my mind is that damn Daniel Stasi. That video, they was just like being their natural selves, and posted the video, and then everyone started doing it. Same thing with the Vine girl. Oh, do it for the Vine. I ain't gonna do it. Do it for the Vine. I ain't gonna do it. Do it for the Vine. That video was like, she's just being herself. Like, she wasn't doing it to create the trend. Trends aren't necessarily created as trends, but they're just being your natural self. People just feed off of it so well. And yeah, just being your natural self can create a trend, and we never know what is going to become a trend. This is why it's like, when he said creative people, just they're just creating. I don't think people set out. Some people do, and it rarely works. Maybe, I'm not too sure, because I don't know the analytics, but I feel like it doesn't really work when you set out to become a trend, because it doesn't come off as just a genuine video. People know, all right, yeah, you want everybody else to do this. We're not doing it. So whatever. So yeah, he goes on to say, I work hard to be a stencil. It's something about creating and destroying yourself on a regular basis. Every version of yourself serves its purpose, and killing that self for the new self is a great exercise of letting go and avoiding comfort zones. Comfort zones, after all, are the enemy of growth. And that goes back into the quote, there's no growth in your comfort zone, and there's no comfort in your growth zone, which is beautiful, beautiful quote. You got to get out there. You got, when you're comfortable, it's cool to like be like, all right, I'm comfortable, right? Say you're making the amount of money you want to make. You're not worried about no bills. You eat good food every day. You travel. Whatever you like to do. Whatever you like to do, you can do it. After a while, it's like, I'm stagnant. I need more. I need to grow. And it's okay. Like, once you get to a certain spot where it's comfortable, to just stay comfortable. But challenge yourself to be more, to do more. Because me, I feel like I'm gonna forever be growing, even when, because I have a goal to retire at 40, which is very doable with the things that I'm trying to do. It's not going to be easy. It's going to be very hard. So I give myself a 5-year grace period. So 40, 45, I do plan to be like retired completely. And although it's once I'm retired, it's not like life just stops. No, I'm still going to technically still like work in the field that I'm going to be in, but I'm going to be doing it on my own time, on my own accord, So I don't think that, maybe that didn't correlate. Maybe that didn't correlate too well. Maybe that's just a little add-on that I just said. Furthermore, I don't know, I got tripped up on my words because I'm thinking about my future and how bright it is. Sorry. I was blinded. So yeah, just remember, there's no comfort in your growth zone, and there's no growth in your comfort zone. So when you're trying to grow, you're going to be very uncomfortable because you're shedding your old self. You're shedding something that you was to become something that you never was. So it can be scary, and it's gonna hurt. Just think about it as like when you're working out, like you're growing, but as you're working out, you get sore, you get that pain. You know what I mean? You sweat. It's uncomfortable. Once you get to the other side, that's when it's like, all right, cool, I made it. You relax there for a little bit, you chill, and then you get back into the grind and you grow some more. So it's okay to be comfortable sometimes, but don't sit in that comfort for too long. You gotta mire it out and grow. He goes on to say, it also keeps us excited for the days ahead. Facts. Because me, I like, it just happened just now. Like, I'm thinking about the things that I'm gonna do in the future and the growth that I have to embark on, and I'm actually excited about it. Like, I'm not dreading like the whole process. I'm excited to see myself in the future and what life is going to be like. I know it's not going to be easy, and that's the best part about it, is that I'm self-aware enough to know that my personality, what the things that are set in stone with my personality, may not really be set in stone, because I might have to change them. So, but I'm excited about it. I'm excited about the journey, and every day I wake up and I'm like, all right, how can I make my future self proud of me? And I just act as if I'm already my future self. I said it in one of the other episodes, is like, what would your future self do? And sometimes, you relapse, you get into your modes, and that's where you're like, you step back, even if it's after the fact. When you realize after, like, you're acting as yourself, as your current self, when you should be acting as your future self, you step back and you say, okay, next time, what can I do next time to catch myself earlier and then revert myself sooner, if that makes sense. The goal in 5 years is to look back at the present me and be happy I'm no longer here. Which is correct. Like when I look back, like say 5 years from now, when I look back to this exact moment, I might, either even come back and play the episode because it's something that's going to be immortalized for life, which is another reason why I'm doing this this series is for me, so I can go back 5 years later and be like, yo, bro was on some shit, like, you know what I mean, and just understand and be proud of myself, like, damn, you really did that, you really did that, you knew what you was going to do, and you've done it, you did it. So what parts of you need to be fed, what parts need to be starved and killed off? That's the homework. The homework is, well, you don't have to put it in the comments because it might be personal, but I want you to think until next time, think about these two questions. What parts of you need to be fed? What parts do you need to pour into? What parts do you need that you feel like need to grow? What's the good about you that can be magnified? The light in you should be magnified. And what parts of you need to be starved and killed off? Sometimes you need to, they say it takes 21 days to start a habit and 21 days to break a habit. So if you could go 21 days with a self-evaluation and knowing the certain things that you don't want to bring into your future, like say you're combative, or say you're reactive, and say you have a short fuse, or say you don't stop and think enough, whatever the case may be, things that you know about yourself that you wish you could change or that you feel like can put you in a better position. I want you to think about those things and come up with a plan in terms of 21 days, how you're going to actively not do the things that you don't like about yourself. If you don't like the fact that you're always late, set some goals to go even if it's not to go to work, right? Set some random goals to go to random places at certain times and hold yourself accountable for that. If you're not holding yourself accountable, well, technically you're the only one that can hold yourself accountable outside of like obviously work, and if you have kids and stuff like that, they hold you accountable when you don't show up for them or whatever the case may be. But when we really think about it, we're the only ones that can hold ourselves accountable, because someone can hold you accountable, and they can hold you accountable on paper, or they can hold you accountable like with feelings in terms of, oh, you didn't show up for me, I don't like that, whatever the case may be. But it's your feelings towards the accountability that's gonna really affect it. If you don't really care about what other people are saying, which you shouldn't, you should care about it within yourself. So if someone comes up to you and says, oh, you did this wrong, right, and you know you were wrong about it, you should take the accountability and hold yourself accountable for it, right? So I feel like I'm waffling, I'm going off on random tangents, but I also think that I understand where I'm going with it, and I hope that you guys understand where I'm going with it. I hope so. Other than that, this is episode 20. I am probably gonna upload this today. I just realized I was talking for almost 30 minutes. I am gonna upload this today. What I'm about to do right now is some at-home workouts. I am going to study, do some homework, shower, and just chill. Pretty much just chill for the rest of the night. I'm most likely am gonna upload this. And yeah, I appreciate y'all for being here. I appreciate y'all for listening. If you made it this far, don't forget the homework. If you made it this far, I was going to come up with something that y'all could put in the comments, but I really have nothing right now. I'm kind of like, I'm talking, but I'm thinking about something else. I'm thinking about my future, honestly. Thinking about it. And the title of this, let me open this back up. The title of this one was, You Can Be Whatever the Fuck You Want. And you know what? I know what the fuck I'm going to be. Do you know what the fuck you going to be? All right, y'all, I'm out.